me tell you a story, my story, the story of how I found my voice and how we changed the world. The story of how I made a few friends and a lot of enemies. I was born and raised in West Czechoslovakia, and I lived with my parents in a small house where we spent most of our days. And life was good, but in the year 1377, I was lying in bed.
I'm telling you, Margaret, this Pope-King conflict is out of control. The kings are rejecting papal claims of supremacy. The struggle for power between the church and the throne is getting unbearable.
I mean, I still can't believe when Pope Boniface argued King Philip didn't have the right to tax the clergy without the Pope's consent. The king rejected the Pope's position and sent French forces to Italy to bring Pope Boniface back to France for trial.
Then Pope Boniface died, and Philip rigged the election for the Frenchman Clement V to become the Pope.
Mother, father, what's going on?
Oh dear, there has been a great deal of problems in the church and with the Pope for many years now.
Let me help fix it.
You can't do anything about it. Nobody can.
That is how I first learned of the conflicts going on then. I was only 10 then, but I remember it vividly, like it was yesterday. By the time I was an adult, I was convinced that I could not change anything. But then I met him.
Do you see this? The Popes are in Avignon. This is ridiculous.
How can you even think that? The popes obviously should live in Avignon. Popes have been living there in the southern part of France since 1305.
The Pope is the Bishop of Rome, therefore he should reside in Rome. Not to mention the fact popes and cardinals live in splendor in Avignon.
What do you think of all of this?
Honestly, I don't care, and you shouldn't either. Nobody cares about your opinions. There's nothing you can do. Fighting about your differences won't change anything going on in our world.
Quite an opinion you have there, son.
Yeah, what's it to you?
Well, a young man like you should know what's happening in the world. You should know your beliefs.
You want to know about my beliefs? I believe there's nothing you can do to change anything unless you are rich or have power. Who cares where the Pope is living?
Who cares? I do. And so does a lot of other people. It's so much more than where the Pope is living. There's more than one Pope trying to be in power right now. Europe is being divided between France and England. Does none of that matter to you? With me to my protest. We'll meet a lot of people there who are passionate about their beliefs. And you'll see, with enough people, we can change something. You should try it out.
Okay, but I'm not making any promises.
Friends, we have many crises at hand. The church is dividing us everywhere. Everywhere I go, I hear arguments. Arguments over nothing. The church is corrupt. The papacy is corrupt. The only thing we need is a reform that will save us. We just gonna sit back and not fight. Join me. Let it be known. Together, we can end this corruption. The church will once again be a place of holy, during rather than a place overcome with greed. Yes, in power, no longer will we feel undetermined about our faith. No. What, John? Despite my fate, no. Keep going. Go for the reform.
He has been found guilty of heresy.
It's unbelievable. He was such a great leader of philosophy.
He's going to be burned at the stake.
When is this happening?
50 minutes until sunset.
It's across town. You'll never make it.
Oh!
That changed everything. People were outraged. Talks of a revolution started in Bohemia. I had to make a choice. Keep fighting or give up. Once again, John encouraged me to have an opinion.
Morning, Matthew.
Morning, Mr. Traherne. Came this morning, sir.
Thank you.
though I didn't know him long, he made a great impact on my life. Just like you, I am still struggling with the loss.
Thank you.
I received this letter from John earlier today. It took a great toll on me. Because of your husband, I will never live the same again. I can no longer be satisfied with the world around me. I have decided to join the revolution in Bohemia.
Can I join?
I wouldn't think of doing it without you. A church council met in Constance, Switzerland, and ended the Great Schism in 1417. All popes in power at the time were either fired or resigned. A new pope, acceptable to all, was then elected. The revolutionary upheaval in Bohemia lasted until 1436. The church had lost most of its political power and spiritual authority. The pope no longer had supremacy over the state. John's wish of reform was accomplished. I wouldn't be the man I am today without his influence. I'll make sure the fight against the papacy of the church and the Great Schism is always known.
Where is the moment we needed the most?
The world. I just made that up.
Church.
It's corrupt. Just say the church is corrupt.
The church is corrupt. The papacy is corrupt. Everything is corrupt. The reform is corrupt.
Bohemia. I had to make a choice.
Jordan!
Hear arguments. Over what? Nothing. They are arguing about where the Pope should reside. What a joke. Ugh. A reform is needed. Yeah, a reform is needed.